Please don't have a seizure while watching this video. Oh, hey, welcome back. It's been a while. Sorry about the wait. Unless, of course, you're here for the first time, in which case, hello there. My name's Jonathan. Nice to meet you. Welcome to my eternal prison. Let me fill you in on what's going on. Basically, I've never beaten Dark Souls before, so I decided that my first completed run was going to be deathless. I tell you the rules I said last time, but I'm going to be breaking both of them almost immediately. Sorry about that. Last episode, I jingled some bells, lost my mind a bit, manually divorced a gay couple, and now all that's left to do is collect the 4 biggest souls from the friendliest guys and use those to end the game. Since we last left off, I decided that I wanted to try something different for the latter half of the game, so I went ahead and made a few more attempts. Okay, maybe more than a few. But in doing so, I managed to get 7 more runs up to the halfway point. So without further ado, here's the cast. First off, we got the dex builds, 108 and 125. We rely on the Balder Side Sword because the swing speed prevents me from making bad decisions. Then we have the Sorcerers, 93, 133, and 134, who also use the Balder Side Sword, but it's different because they have magic. Then we have 83, the Pyromancer, 103, the Thwomp build, and of course, at the heart of it all, 52. Who was actually 51, but has now been canonically renamed. Utilizing the best weapon in the game, the Black Knight Halberd. These 8 are my last gambit. Either one of these idiots manages to survive, or I give up and accept the fact that all of my effort was for nothing. But before my reckoning approaches, we have some grinding to do. All right, let's do this. Actually, I might need to put some of this down. This is equipment for like 12 people. Now, with the soul bowl in its proper position, it's time to head to our first target. So after a quick stop in the hog extermination corner, shout out to my southerners, hope you guys get one of these installed soon, we take the elevator up. And as God's silliest arsonist, he delivers onto us his biggest of libraries, which means that it's time for us to do our part. The Duke's Archives is the home of the Duke. He's a dragon that got bullied in high school for being a nerd, and now he's the only dragon left. He's currently using his vast amount of knowledge to attempt to create genetically engineered dragon maids. And although, as a fellow man of culture, I appreciate his efforts, he is not doing a good job. Unfortunately, however, we're not going to get the chance to view his progress because in order to get there, we'd have to die. So instead, we're gonna have to do this. That trick you saw just now is called Duke's Archive Skip. It's a skip that skips most of Duke's Archives, since the name Duke's Archive Skip, but it also happens to prevent dying. However, it is hard, and will kill us if done improperly, so we need to practice. But I need a save to practice on, which means that someone's gonna have to die. After careful consideration, I decided that 108 would take the dive. I then spent 8 hours repeatedly running up the path to try to practice the trick, and then it was time to say goodbye. Rest easy, soldier. We'll make sure your sacrifice wasn't in vain. And although most survived, 93 unfortunately didn't make it either. Fuck. 6 remain. But now, with 83 leading the charge, it's time to explore the rest of Bizarro Hogwarts, where the wizards utilize the power of the simultaneous whip and nae-nae to put military-grade assault rifles in the hands of the criminally insane, who then turned 83 into a bullet pincushion for the next 40 minutes while we got lost 3 separate times. Eventually, however, I managed to find the incredibly hidden secret staircase that leads us out of the archives and into Thief's Hole of Magic Crystals, which includes an invisible variety that makes path traversal somewhat difficult. There is, however, a solution. And yes, in case you're wondering, I did have to do this for every single run. Except for 133, who died during invisible floor combat. 5 left, and we still haven't killed a single boss. Really just putting the worst possible foot forward here. But now the caves are over, which means that there's only one thing left to do.
Call me pretty gold star, say I do the most. Got the memo, drop the M, now everybody knows.
Welcome every pony and crab to the Seat the Scaleless fight. He's a giant scaleless dragon who is incapable of taking damage unless you destroy his precious JO crystal. Luckily, he doesn't defend it, like, at all, so we can just kinda... His main attacks utilize the power of his Kidney Stone Barrage, which can instantly kill you by consuming your frame rate and filling your monster energy meter. And although he has a distinct lack of legs, he thrashes like a pit bull near a toddler whenever you try to get at his tail. The combination of these 2 attacks means that there's very few safe places to stand, and even fewer where you can actually do damage. However, it is in my lineage to murder political figures, and I refuse to let my ancestry down. Alright, 5 characters left, 1 soul down, 3 to go. So now with crab access unlocked, we do a bit of upgrading. And before we head to target 2, we first have to go visit her daughter, the Spider Lady, because I need to feed her so that I can not play half a level and save my friend, and those are the only 2 reasons why I'm doing this.
Arachnophilia.
And now that our preparations are complete, it's time to visit the land of the taxpayers.
Now that me and love go hand in glove, it's a whole new thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Demon Room, where dead demon bosses go to rapidly aggregate.
Also, there's normally supposed to be a boss here, but I started killing it earlier on in runs, so let's just make this quick. Ceaseless Discharge, what kind of freaking name is that? Who would look at their cursed fresh child raw? The women think the name is Ceaseless Discharge, what? Anyway, moving on. Interesting fact about demons is that they happen to take double damage from Black Knight weapons, which 52 happens to have the strongest variant of. Another interesting fact about demons, they don't have fun while 52 is around. So while 52 began her Doom Guy RP arc, 83 continued to lead the charge. We navigate our way through the fertility statues and past the centipedes that turned 83's hand into glue until we eventually find a fog wall.
That we immediately turn away from because I will not be taking unnecessary risks. Instead, we take the door that allows us to collect a handy tool for later and enter immediately into Lost Izalith, where 83 instantly fell into the woodchipper pit and didn't live to tell the tale. But hey, she did her job, got us through the archives and one turn away from the second boss, and for that, we're grateful. So thanks, 83. And goodbye. So one right turn and one child ambush later, and it's time to enter the pit. This is the Witch of Izalith. She did a light the bonfire in the hood prank gone wrong, and now she's a giant tree in the shape of some object that as a true gamer I simply cannot identify. And you're probably not gonna be super happy with how I beat this one. Listen, I know that firebomb cheesing isn't what you want to see, but there's just too much bullshit for me to get through this fight legitimately without dying, even with 4 attempts. Either I cheese this out or the run ends here, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. Okay, yeah, that one was probably karma. So Firebomb Cheese lets you skip most of the fight, but there's still technically 2 attacks that can hit, and one of them has the capability to burn your brainstem into non-existence. And now we only have 3 attempts left to get good RNG. And although 52 and 103 ended up getting through, 134 the Sorcerer didn't get quite as lucky and got caught up in the fire. And didn't die somehow? I really don't know how she managed to survive with half of the armor that 125 had, but whatever, we take miracles where we can get them. Giving me heart attacks by almost dying just seems to be a habit of 134. Even after we finished up and went to do some farming, she almost died 2 extra times to dumb shit that she really shouldn't be dying to. But now she has a magic side sword +9. And with 3 characters left, and 103 taking point, we have 2 more souls left to collect. So now that there's only 3 characters left, it's about time that you met the last member of our coconut crew. This is 103. She has a Zweihander that she hands, and she does quite a bit of damage. She'll also be acting as our tour guide as we enter the underground, where the skeletons require our balls and they are unrelenting. There's also other enemies such as famous band Talking Heads, the elderly arsonist, and Patches, who we played a game of Trust with that I lost. I may be getting paranoid. 52 and 134, however, avoided the game entirely by utilizing the Tibia Shatter speedrun down to summon Leroy. Why summon Leroy? Because I will not be losing a run to a fucking 1/8 of a wheelbarrow. So after Leroy deals with the Vitruvian men, it's time to fight Penkin. Moving on.
Now we've reached the Tomb of the Giants, where the skeletons have discovered the ancient art of light lengthening surgery, moving up their center of gravity and reverting their balance back to that of a small toddler. And now they don't really seem to have a leg to stand on. Unfortunately, however, the giants aren't the main attraction, and there's a much more vicious creature that lurks in the tomb.
Hello.
Furries. Much like in the IRL, these furries have the capability to pounce and nuzzle you until your ribcage becomes a vacuum. The only solution that I found is simply have more health, or just be 134. But we all managed to fight our way through the rainforest and make it back to the light, where Leroy shows up again and 103 introduces him to the concept of deatomization. Then, after some light volunteer work at the re-abortion facility, it's time for us to return to the hole from whence we came.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Nito, the upper management of the dead. He works alongside his skeleton crew. It's a very bare bones operation. He's really working these guys to the boner. So the skeletons are on duty 24/7, and just as expected by any American upper management, they continue to work even through death. The only way to get rid of them for good is through divine intervention, which 103 did not have equipped. However, thanks to incredible menuing skill, she managed to avoid getting boned. As for Nito himself, his attacks are slow and easy to dodge, but if you get hit too much, you'll be overcome by the toxic workplace environment and die. Unluckily for Nito, though, it's bring your pipe bomb to work day, and with the assistance of ChatGPT, I've managed to prepare 3 just for the occasion. Three souls down, no extra lives lost, and I think I'm finally starting to get my confidence back. Also, sorry about the mask, 52 happens to be a bit of a dream stand. But now we're in the last leg of our journey, which means that after killing the fertility idol, it's time to bring 103's Zweihander up to its max potential. And before we go to harvest the last soul, we have a chonking pupper that we have to take to the hecking pet cemetery.
I might have ruined this fight a bit. But with the Ring of Dead Dog in hand, we've finally earned our vacation to the water park. Welcome to New London, where humans once partied like billionaires, and as a result, they were forced to participate in extreme water sports Guantanamo Bay style, which, as you can see, the inhabitants seem not to enjoy. But now it's our job to join the so-called Drain Gang by meeting up with Ingward and getting him to hand over a key. And now we can release the enemies of humanity back out into the world and do what should have been done a long time ago. Alongside these soul-sucking parasites, there's also the frog enemies, who utilize Spy Kids 3D technology and the Beatrice summon. Oh, that was quick. Alright. One last time. Let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to DPS Check the Boss Fight. It's like one of those punching machines in arcades, but if you don't punch hard enough, 4 more of them appear and start exploding. And in case you're wondering, your math is not wrong. 1 plus 4 does in fact equal 5. This fight's name is in fact the 4 Kings. If you have any complaints to lodge, please call the number on screen. Basically, this fight comes down to repeatedly slamming the right trigger and hoping you do enough damage and don't get grabbed. 103 tried to bring in grab fodder, but the fodder wasted all of her best spells on a ghost she couldn't hit and ended up putting her in an unwinnable situation. Sorry, 103. 52, however, had a stronger weapon and avoided the summon, so she was in a much better position. Good night, 52. Thanks for the good times.
But it's not over just yet. There's still 1 save left, and even though her damage is worse and her health is also worse, she's all we got left. So let's do this. This is the last shot, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope I don't waste it.
I only have 1 more hand that I can play. There ain't no time, so let's do it now. I say I'm on my way, yeah. The sea of flames. My soul is still the sea, but it has been. Oh, 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 oh,
God, I wish this was over. But hey, at least we made it to the final frontier. The killing of the first flame. And after a bit of parry practice, it all comes down to this. No soul lair, no homeward bounds, just 1 attempt to end the game.
It's time to see if all this effort was worth it.
Hey, it's the guy playing the game. I don't know how this is gonna go, whether this goes well or not. Thank you for watching, and if I lose, try not to be too mad.
I'm here, reaching far across these new frontiers. With my life, I fight this fear. In my hands, I hold the ones I love. Walk forward through the counter. Always the new horizons.
You weren't expecting this plot point to come back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this ends the most stressful first playthrough of a game that I've ever had. Can't say it wasn't fun, but I'd suggest just playing the game normally on your first playthrough. As for what lies ahead, I honestly have no clue. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. So, till next time.
Good night, everybody.